In this video, I want to talk to you about how to organize your pages in Figma. To make it convenient to work, I will show you my method. This is not an option that needs to be used in 100% of cases. Always start base. From your needs, there are very small projects where you create something completely different. A small solution like a notification or something else, and there essentially you don't need to outline and create so many pages. There, a file named research and some kind of handoff is sufficient. But most often, for such a solution, there is already a sandbox where you experiment and use different options. And in some large projects, I create exactly such a file structure and then add any necessary pages if needed. The first and most understandable is the cover, which is the thumbnail, the preview of your project. You can create a frame 1280 by 720 and right-click to select Set as Thumbnail. And as you can see, when you go to the folder C, with your projects, you will have this kind of thumbnail appear. Here, people usually write the project name and project status. Sometimes they write, again, I don't understand why, but it really helps a lot, simplifies work in the film, especially when you have a lot of projects. Next is research. I think it's clear here, various screenshots from article excerpts, from documentation, links to documentation. That is all the research you conduct in the AIR frame. You can share some good examples, either from your competitors or experiment yourself to try to create something, lay out some flow in the design. Most often a UI is already sketched out using a more or less final version of your solution in Handoff. And this is a very interesting file. Remember one very important thing, that Handoff means hands off. This means that if you have added something there and marked it as ready for dev, it's better not to disturb it. The developers do not enter this file anymore. That is, if you have selected it like this, then it's better not to do anything here anymore. If you have come up with a solution and want to fix something, you go and add it to the design, fix it here, write in the ticket, coordinate with the developers, find out what stage they are at now. Perhaps this solution can be quickly corrected accordingly. In the handoff, I have several. In such sections, I simply write the date when it was done. Handoff, for example, the handoff was done at this time. Then after a couple of months, we revisited the solution and came up with a new one. Here, a different file appears with another handoff and a list of changes that we made. Because the product doesn't stand still, it is always evolving, always improving. Meanwhile, old handoffs can either be archived or left where they were to review. And in the future, this is quite useful to see how your product evolved, to understand exactly from which point things went wrong. So if your solution didn't work, a design review is a file where I usually review up to 100 as a developer. I roll out a test version before they release it. We conduct a full design review to see if it matches the Figma, if the flow is correct, if everything fits, and if it can be released. Release. If not, we take screenshots and add them here. And accordingly, if it's not ready for release, we ask the developers to make fixes and archive. I think you already guess here. You send just all the ideas that didn't make it to the handoff stage when you're sitting in the wireframe or already in. In design, you try different ideas, review ideas. That may not fit, participate in such a way that people see some potential in the idea, but it's just not well developed enough. And you can archive it for better times, to return to it later and refine it if necessary. Thank you all for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Likes and definitely comments. Write to me so I can understand what other questions you have and how else I might be able to help you. All useful links will usually be in the description below the video.